I think we've all played and heard of Enlisted at this point, but in my attempt to expand my horizons and look for another option for the meantime whilst Hell Let Loose is emptying its bowels across the World War II FPS genre, this was one game that definitely came to my mind. One, because, well, it's a World War II FPS, and two, it's free, so I don't have to spend any money on this. So why is Enlisted still succeeding whilst many aren't? Okay, well, I've actually spawned in with a sniper, which is good. And unfortunately, this is one of the AI game modes, so they are going to be following me around. That is terrifying. And as I say, giving away my position, which isn't ideal. I do love the little heat haze there. That is a really nice touch. It is goddamn beautiful. I mean, they've got it in the places where there's shadows, so I'm not entirely sure that's right, but hey, they've tried their best. They've tried their best. For a start, this game is goddamn beautiful. Genuinely. Its graphics are not quite on par with a Hell Let Loose, but definitely better than Postscriptum. And it's not too far off even Team 17's offering. The lighting is probably its biggest strength, but texture design, especially on the urban and newer maps, gives a lot of pleasure to my old and tired eyes. Yes, that is a sentence that I wrote in this script. Oh boys, they're coming. They're coming. Keep your wits about you. Tunisia is a very, very cool map. I feel it is quite different to a lot of other stuff that we've had in any of the games. Boy, is it as hectic as usual. Gunplay is a real positive for me. I mean, in any FPS, it's one of the most important parts. At a game like Call of Duty, it came with this arcadey approach, fast-paced and pretty satisfying hit sounds, yet with something like Battlefield, you had a bit more slower pace and Hell Let Loose even more so. So where does Enlisted really sit in all of this? Well, I think it kind of buries itself in a nice middle ground. It has the satisfaction of shooting. It's not quite as beautiful as that planting one on the head of a soldier in a World War I FPS like Isonzo, but it gives you that strong dopamine hit nonetheless. I think maybe even a stronger dopamine hit than Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum when you actually get that final kill, because it adds in that Call of Duty style of hit registering, you know, that sound effect that thumps within your veins when you finally get that guy that's been running away for hours and hours and hours. The confirmation of kills down to its more arcadey nature adds an extra satisfying moment. And look, I am very aware it's a tactic used to keep players on the game, giving a satisfying dopamine hit instead of the more simulation style of gameplay, but I will feed that teat any day. The guns handle okay. I mean, rifles are fine. They tend to fill up about 50% of your screen though. In terms of FOV, there isn't a whole lot of choices here. There is a good amount of variation between weapons. I mean, the more recently adding in flamethrowers is one of the most terrifying things I think the game has ever done. Going into a house and all of a sudden a flamethrower comes around the corner as the flames lick your ankles. It is incredibly immersive, yet one in a million experience. Oh, there's something over there. I'm going to stay away from that area because as far as I'm aware, I don't have anything that can take that out. I've just got a Springfield and a knife. And I'm not going to do a Tom Hanks and try and pistol a goddamn tank. Speaking of pistoling tanks, these guys blend in very, very well with the surroundings. He's coming back. I think my guy just bombed himself, but it hasn't all been positive for Enlisted. I mean, Gaijin, for one, the publishers, they have a name at least. Their in-game shop is stronger than even the worst of EA enterprises. There's a raging debate on whether Enlisted is pay to win, and I think there's only one true answer, probably. This doesn't mean that you can't get a good experience out of doing everything for free. I mean, I've not given them a single penny. Okay, ironically, making these videos probably does help them, but I will never give them any money, and I've still managed to get at least one kill to my name. Jokes aside, it is still a lot of fun, even playing just for free. It has this whole war system going to different fronts, whether it's in Stalingrad or Tunisia or your general European front as well. That variation really brings some scale to the game, and whilst Hell Let Loose offers an experience that I have never had in any FPS title and will always be one of my favorite games of all time, the scale that Enlisted brings kind of replaces what Heroes and Generals did back in the day. That was the previous free-to-play World War II shooter beta that added in this large war operation where you'd move between fronts with AI soldiers and regular people as well. Yet Enlisted has sort of taken over that mantle. Enemies down here. Oh, they are just in a boxed in position. That is not ideal for them. I think there's one more down there. Looks like an MG34. See if we can out-snipe the sniper. Yes, we can. Hello, son. Oh, you're my squaddy. Hey. I'm gonna get my lads to go over there. So you can press X to order them to defend a position. You can switch mode of giving orders if we press K. So... God damn it, Higgins. Enlisted also offers a slight variation on some of the game modes that we've seen before, being squad-based combat with AI. Players and AI working together. You have your own squad of men, all with their own names, and you can go into the menus and upgrade them if you so wish. They all have different weapons and of course skills, but when you jump into the game you can pick one of them to play. You will then be able to order around the other AI in your squad, and look, it is kind of cool, but I think most people actually avoid this game mode. The AI is terrible. It gives away your position instantly. They don't really listen to orders, and they either miss everything or they can one-shot hedge snipe you from across the map. There is no in-between here, and I think that's one of Enlisted's biggest downfalls. I wish they focused on the solo squads. You know, when you're actually just playing as a soldier like any other FPS. These are the servers that I jump in on. One man, more realistic game modes, where yes, you do have a whole team, but it is just full of players and, well, padded out with some AI, but you can't really tell the difference. Whether that's the improved AI or the terrible players, I guess we'll never know. But without having to order around stupid AI NPCs, you're able to immerse yourself a bit more, and I tend to have a lot more fun playing on these game modes, so I often aim for them. I wish that Gaijin would just kind of sack the whole AI squad stuff, because yeah, it was a unique take, but it's just been done so badly, I don't think many people really enjoy it that much. And I think it makes the game feel a lot cheaper and tackier than it would do if they focused on the player experience, the gunplay, and the mechanics that come with that. I like to kind of leave my men at the back there just because they will just give away my position when I'm sniping. And it means that they're less likely to die, so I can get some respawn points as well. Oh, hello. But we need to talk about the maps. On release, there was a fairly small selection. Through time, more and more have been added in though, from the Eastern Front to the Pacific. Tunisia was a highlight for me. I really enjoyed that one. It was kind of a fresh look and going into the African front, which many games actually haven't tackled, or at least not at that point. Of course, Hell Let Loose brought in El Alamein, but that was somewhat of a disaster in itself. It looks like the whole enemy team is just sitting in here. I see you. I see you, son. Now, this game, you generally do benefit from running in. However, playing it as a sniper at the back is always going to be a good idea. Now, the Japanese faction actually got a few really cool additions, like the plunge mine and stuff like that, and there are a few funny videos of people using the plunger mines on enemy tanks. I think the Japanese faction in general are a bit more unique and add a bit more variation. They're a pretty cool addition, I think, to the game. Stalingrad came in as well. It had a bit of controversy because, well, it was a bit shit. But there was also controversy around Stalingrad because it added in a campaign that was available to purchase, which meant that everybody playing it was just powerful as hell, getting extra XP boost and, of course, earlier access. The player base didn't really shift to the new map, so they then made Stalingrad available for free. Then the free-to-play players just weren't happy because they were now playing with a load of paid players. This is why I mentioned that Enlisted is probably pay to win. I see so many people arguing against it, but when you add in a shop that adds in stuff like XP boosts, even if you are segregating players to their level, you're always going to get issues like this, whether it's bad development, bad management, or just bad luck sometimes. This was a massive point of War Thunder. Of course, published by Gaijin once again, the same guys that did Enlisted. You could pay for planes, you could pay for XP boosts, and they would argue that it wasn't pay to win because you'd only be paired with people that had your same level or similar levels. But then what if you wanted to play with friends? Because I did some sponsor stuff for Gaijin back in the day, and War Thunder was a big title. They gave me a load of lines, XP, and some planes, so I was now flying around in jets and my mates were still in Spitfires, so we pretty much couldn't play together because they would just be demolished by everybody else in my matches, and it completely ruined the experience and we dropped off. That is something that Enlisted seems to be going towards, and I think it could hurt the player base quite a lot. Yet because of the controversy with the Stalingrad and the paid campaign, when the Pacific update came out, it was fully free to everybody, and I did actually really enjoy the new setting, but I don't think it's quite done justice by Enlisted. You know, Battlefield 5 when they added in the Pacific, it was beautiful. The large scale, the maps, oh, they were gorgeous. And Enlisted just didn't really capture it in the same way. That was probably mostly down to the terrible AI. Generally, Enlisted is much more for the casual player than How Let Loose. So it does attract a certain... I've written this in the script and I don't know if I even want to say it. It does attract a certain quality of human. Yet having bots to fill out the servers means that you're always going to get a few satisfying kills if that's more down your alleyway. But for a hardcore World War II nut who enjoys the realism of squad, postscriptum, or Hell Let Loose, you'll probably get a little bit frustrated with the absolute insanity that is Enlisted.